This video is going to help you set up what's known as the system tray on your PC to display useful information about things that your PC is doing, things that it might need to do, devices that are connected to it, or devices that are installed within it. So the bottom right-hand area of this bar on your computer, most people have it on the bottom. You may have moved it to the side of your screen or the top of your screen. It's one of those Microsoft things. You can put this bar anywhere you want. Most people have it down here. I like to have everything showing. So what I'm going to walk you through here right now is what it looks like to have everything showing, how to turn some of the things off, and how to turn them back on again. So we'll roll through these, and you'll see as you go over them, they'll give you a little message. This is Microsoft Security Essentials. It's telling me that my PC is potentially unprotected, but I happen to know that means I haven't run a virus scan for a little while, and the one that I have set up to automatically run hasn't run either. So I either need to run a manual test or just wait for the automatic one to run. The next one over is to do with the audio card that I have in this PC. This is a fairly expensive PC, and it's got a fairly sophisticated interface in terms of the things that I can do with the input and output audio. I'm not going to go through that because it's way beyond the scope of this particular video, and also it's particular to this machine and may not have anything to do with your system. But if you do have a high-end audio card in your system, the chances are it might have some sort of a control thing down here. Right here is the icon for the utility I'm using to actually record this video, so I'm not going to click on that. This is for my graphics card. I have an ATI Radeon graphics card, and they actually call it Catalyst Control Center. I have absolutely no idea why. And there's nothing I want to change here, and again, that's beyond the scope of this video because I'm really just showing you what these little icons are. But if I wanted to play around with how my video was performing, my ATI graphics card, this is how I would do it. But I like the way it is right now, so I'm going to cancel it. The next one is an icon for a PC cleanup utility that I use. You're only going to be able to see part of this. Apologies for that, I'm not capturing the whole screen. But we do have another video that's specific to picking a good PC tune-up utility, and I would refer you to that for more information on PC utilities. But anyhow, let me close that. The next one over is very important, and this is how to make sure that you're safely removing things from your computer that you've put in through what's known as the Universal Serial Bus or USB interfaces. So the most common things that this is going to be important for are things that have information on them. So this could be a USB flash drive, it could be your camera, it could be anything that stores files. So I'm going to insert a USB drive in the PC, and my computer is set up to bring up this screen by default. I typically choose this option and bring this over. Again, it's a little bit beyond the scope of this video, but I figured since I'm doing it, I'll go ahead and show it to you. And the removable disk is actually this one right here, and it's got some pictures on it. Okay. Now, the important point that I want to make here is that you always want to make sure that you safely eject anything that stores files on it, because Windows doesn't necessarily finish writing files to one of these devices because it uses a time slicing operating system, and there may be something more important for it to do at the particular second in time that you want to pull the USB drive out. So it may be pending writing some files to that USB drive because it's not assuming that you're just going to yank it out. So you could yank it out and you could find that you don't have everything you thought you put there, or you could have a completely corrupted device because Microsoft Windows was in the process of writing something to it and you just arbitrarily disconnected it. So because I know this is the disk that I've put in here, let me make this a little bigger. It's drive F. I know that drive D is my external terabyte backup drive. So I can highlight drive F, I can right click, and I can click eject. So that's one way to safely eject memory stick devices, cameras, or whatever. But it does require that you go to this particular view, which is the Finder view or folder view. There's a couple of different names for it. But we're not going to do that. We're going to use the actual little icon here as it's intended. So I'm going to click on that. My PC is a little flaky. Sometimes I have to click twice. Now, you want to be very careful and make sure you eject the right thing. Remember, drive D is my external terabyte drive. I don't want to eject that because I need that connected. But I do want to eject that USB drive. So I'll click that. It says it's safe to remove, and I pull it out. Okay, so that's what that particular little icon is for. This one here is my wireless console, and basically what that allows me to do is to toggle my wireless connection on and off. Some PCs also have an external switch for doing this, or putting it in what they call airline mode, and some PCs have other keys that can do it, and Windows has other ways you can do it as well. So there's probably about 5 different ways on most PCs you can disable your wireless connection. I know from experience that if I click on this, you're not going to be able to see what it does, so I'm not going to do it, but basically it's just a way to toggle the wireless connection on and off. The next thing over is the manufacturer of this PC's update facility, and there is no need to upgrade or update the environment right now, so I'll just hit cancel. If there's anything pending, then it would be asking me to do an install. And notice I have a G73JH Asus computer. Okay, and yes, I want to exit. And what's next? The next thing is what they call the Action Center. And there's one message here. So there's a little flag here. Sometimes there's another icon on top of this flag that really wants you to pay attention to it. And what you do is you just click Open Action Center. And that one was way too big for you to see, so I'm going to make it smaller so you can actually see it. Okay? And what it's telling me is that it wants to go off and check and see if there are any updates. Now I have 2 different videos on our website about dealing with updates. I'm going to defer to those as far as that's concerned. Now there are other things that this message center will sometimes talk about. It might mention something about your last backup failed or other messages. So anyhow, you just click on this little flag, click on Open Action Center, and then it'll tell you whatever it is it wants to tell you. So that's a good way of finding out what's going on with your PC. The next one over is the pointing device. And this is essentially your way of controlling your mouse and your trackpad and a few other things. The trackpad on mine is this one over here. Everybody's computer is a little different, so this may not look exactly like yours looks, but notice it says touchpad right here, and I can disable it, I can play with the settings, I can do all kinds of stuff. I can change my mouse and keyboard, all kinds of things here. But again, the purpose of this video is not to explain all these things to you. It's to explain why it's so nice to have all these little utilities here. Okay, this is your battery power area icon. And there are more power options and things like that, again, beyond the scope of this video. And right now it's at 96% and it's plugged in, but it's not charging. And that's because the newer computers will actually let your battery drain a little bit, charge it up, and let it drain. The older computers used to always keep charging it, and that was one of the reasons why batteries went bad so quickly. But you actually want your battery periodically to drain, and more expensive computers typically have algorithms built into them that will take care of it, and it actually helps keep your battery conditioned. But again, beyond the scope of this video, basically I'm just again showing you why it's important to show these things. The next thing is the wireless network. Looks like that little AT&T commercial with the bars, and this shows you all of your various local wireless connections, and it shows you what you're connected to. Quite useful. The other one is audio, and this is how you can increase your audio. So if you're listening to this video and it's not as loud as you'd like, you should be able to increase your audio there. Now keep in mind, I also have this other utility, and I can play with my audio here. So this would be, for me, the preferred way to do it. Again, if you have any questions about how to play with your audio settings, please go ahead and bring your computer into the St. George Senior Citizen Center Computer Lab. And then, of course, you've got your clock over here, and you can change your time and date settings. Most computers these days automatically adjust for time zone changes, and or sorry, not time zone changes, daylight savings time and things like that. Okay, so that kind of shows you how nice it is to have all of these shown. So let me go back and show you what the default that Microsoft typically gives you is. And let me run through that one more time. This is the screen. What you want to do is put your cursor down here, kind of to the left of the leftmost icon. Right click, choose Properties. It'll bring up a screen. I'm going to bring the screen over so you can see it. And this is the notification area. Now I'm using Windows 7 here. Most of the other versions of Windows are roughly similar. If you're struggling a little bit because you're using XP or some other version of Windows and it's not doing exactly what I'm showing here, then please do just bring your computer into the computer lab and we'll help you get all this sorted out. I'm going to click Customize. And right now I've got Always Show All Icons and Notifications on the taskbar. And you'll notice that these here are grayed out so that I can't change them. So I'm going to turn off just one thing. And let me pick one that's going to be the most obvious to do. Okay, the wireless console. I'm going to turn this off. So I'm going to do Hide Icons and Notifications. Okay. And then I'm going to do this click box, which again makes all of these unchangeable, and click OK. Then I'm going to click OK again. And interestingly enough, that didn't actually hide the icon. So we're going to go back and look at that again and figure out what exactly went wrong. Notification area. Turn that off. I think that was my mistake. Since I had changed one of these to hide icons and notifications, this was actually overriding that. And if I click OK now and click OK now, you'll notice that the little wireless icon is now gone. So it's important that you don't actually check that box if you're not going to display everything. Now, what you should normally then see on your computer is you'll see a couple of icons, and then you'll see a little up arrow, and then that will show you any ones that are not showing. So if you've never played with this at all, when you click this little up arrow, you're going to have several, anywhere up to 5 or 6 of them. In my case, I've only disabled one of them, so I just have the one. And the good news is it's very easy to get to Customize, because once you've done that, you click Customize, and it takes you back exactly to where I showed you before. And we're going to go down to my wireless connection, which is right here. And we're going to do Show Icons and Notifications. Basically, you want to have them all do that. That should be icon and notifications as well. And let me just scroll through the rest of these. They're all set. And then you click Always Show All Icons and Notifications in the taskbar. And between those two things, you should get everything you're expecting. So again, very, very useful to have this turned on. I highly recommend everybody does this. If you have any questions or concerns, as I mentioned before, just come into the lab and we'll help you sort them out. The lab is open Tuesday through Friday from 9 to 11:30. Feel free to bring your computer in if you have a laptop. And even if you have a desktop, go ahead and bring it in. I know sometimes they're kind of big and kind of hard to carry around. You can always put them on a luggage carrier. You don't need to bring your monitor, your keyboard, or your mouse. We have plenty of those. A couple of caveats: we do not do virus removal, and we do not do operating system installations. But we do lots of other things that are very helpful for people. So thanks for watching this video, and we hope to see you at the St. George Senior Citizen Center Computer Lab sometime soon. Thank you.